Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Rebecca Shores, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my recent repurchases. So let's get started. So if you haven't seen one of these videos before, a recent repurchase video is basically an alternative to an empties video. Instead of showing you the empty products I've used up and giving a mini review, I am giving mini reviews on products that I've used up and repurchased. So all these products were not sent to me. I have purchased all of them, so I'm not going to be putting the little titles underneath them saying that I've purchased them because I have. So a lot of my items are skincare, and then I have 2 makeup items and hair. So let's get started with the skincare. So I grabbed more Embryolisse. This is Le Creme Concentrate. Not very good with French. This is one of my favorite moisturizers. When I was freelancing, this was my go-to moisturizer in my kit. It's perfect for all skin types. It actually primes your skin pretty well, so especially with drier skin types, or if I'm going to be wearing a water-based foundation, this is what I'll use as my moisturizer and a primer, and not even go in with another primer. I'll just use this. You can even use it to remove makeup. It's basically an all-around great product. I really like it because it does a great job hydrating the skin, and it doesn't leave your skin really oily. It soaks in all the way, so it's great for wearing in the daytime before you apply your makeup. I got the First Aid Beauty Ultra Moisturizer Repair for Face. This is something I used when I used to live in Utah, and it was my go-to facial moisturizer because my skin was a lot drier there. This wasn't something I had repurchased when I lived back in the Pacific Northwest, just because it is a lot more wet here. However, this winter is a lot colder and we've had the heaters going and my skin is dying. So I needed something with a bit more hydration, and this is one of my favorite moisturizers for the face, especially for anyone that is more on the normal to dry side. This soaks in all the way, which is something I like. I'll use it at nighttime or in the daytime under makeup. It works great. It also has avocado oil, which my skin seems to love. That's something I use just straight up as an oil often. And then I also has licorice root, which is going to be brightening, which is another thing I love to have in my skincare. So definitely a great product. This is the Garden of Wisdom's 10% fruit acid swipes Exfo pads, I think is what they're, that's what they're technically called. These are just little pads that you can use, and they are basically my AHA for the week. Alpha hydroxy acids are basically what is going to basically give you some chemical exfoliation. I don't like to do a lot of manual exfoliation. It usually irritates my skin and then can cause breakouts. So my skin is just sensitive, and I just like to be super gentle with it. So this is 10%, so not too off the pH of your skin. So because I have sensitive skin, I don't like to mess with the pH of my skin very much. 10% is plenty for me. I use this about once every 3 days. I've been using a little bit less because I'm starting to add more retinol into my skincare, so obviously I don't want to be using these too close together. And you do want to be wearing a sunscreen when you use some type of chemical exfoliant. This does a great job in regards to basically evening your skin tone. For me, I don't have a ton of issues with breakouts in general, but whenever I get a breakout, I get hyperpigmentation for a long time, and it's really visible because of my fair skin. So I like to use these to keep overall tone of my skin pretty. The one thing that is kind of unfortunate is it does fade my freckles. I like my freckles, but especially in the winter time when I'm using this, and because I wear sunscreen all the time, my freckles, like you probably can't even see them right now. Another thing I bought at the same time that I don't have right here that I also got from Garden of Wisdom is just straight up avocado oil. Avocado oil is one of my favorite things to use on my skin lately. Garden of Wisdom is basically where I buy all my carrier oils, so I'm not sponsored or anything by them. I just like their products and their website, and things are very reasonably priced. Avocado oil has a lot of vitamin A and E, and it's also antibacterial, so it's a great thing for dry skin, and it's not going to cause you to break out. So that is one of my favorite beauty oils, and something that I've just been using all the time lately. So the Thayer's Rose Peridot Witch Hazel is one of my favorite products to use. This is probably my 6th bottle of them since I started using it, and I only have to repurchase it maybe every 5 to 6 months. I just buy it at Whole Foods, so nowhere super fancy. They come in a couple different kind of scents. The rose petal one's my favorite. It is alcohol free. I don't like to use astringents. Alcohol is it's just really gonna dry out your skin. Your skin's probably gonna kind of hate you. So I like to use an alcohol free witch hazel based toner. Toners are definitely something that's a little more of an optional step in your routine, but I like this one because it does have some aloe in it, which is going to give me a little more hydration. And it's just basically to catch any little bits of makeup I might have missed, add a little bit of a refresher to my skin. So big fan of this. I've been using this for a couple years now and tried a couple other toners and I always go back to that one. This is more of a body moisturizer than a facial moisturizer. This is the CeraVe, and this is just their moisturizer cream. It's for normal to dry skin, and this is a lifesaver. We actually repurchased this, I don't know, maybe like a week or two ago, and look, we're already like halfway through the tub. One thing that I really like, the last time I purchased this, is it came in a tub with just a top, and now the top has a pump. I hated having to dip my hand in there. Like, I basically wouldn't, and so I'd always have to have a scoop by it, and that's just a pain in the butt. If you have dry skin, have something with hyaluronic in your routine. That is great. Hyaluronic acid holds a ton of water, and it's a humectant, so it is gonna be pulling water out of the air. I would highly recommend it if you have a drier skin type. I get very dry arms. Oh, it's actually improving a bit, but you could see like my skin was basically flaking. It was disgusting, and so I've been using this as my body moisturizer. My husband Jeff and I both use this, so that's why we do kind of like, we can blow through this, especially in the winter time. So I have one hair product. This is the Root Pump by Big Sexy Hair. Actually, I think the brand is just just Sexy Hair, and then it has a different thing depending on what you want. I usually get the big ones because I need volume. As you can see, my hair is extremely fine. I don't have a lot of hair, and it is very thin. So this is what I like to give a little extra volume to my hair. You probably can't see that because you can't really see the top of my head. But I just basically spray this in my damp hair and work it through the roots. And then it gives it so my hair, instead of just falling flat, it actually kind of stays where I want it and keeps my bangs kind of off my face. They kind of, like, you see, swoop. So big fan of this. This is the first time I've bought the big bottle, so I don't know how long this is going to take me to go through. I had the mini travel size, and that actually lasted me like quite a few months. I think it was like 3 months or so. So this should last me forever. But I'm a big fan of this. I like to use root pumps, and I just find them easier to use than a mousse because all I really want is a lot more volume here, unless my hair is curled. So yeah, big fan. I'm gonna consider this a repurchase because I don't know how else to deal with this, because I don't go through obviously makeup as fast as things like shampoo and skincare and like primers and whatnot. So I'm gonna call this a repurchase. Let me know what you think about this being a repurchase, because I don't know how to deal with this and I'd love to hear your thoughts. So if I'm buying a different color because I like the other thing, I would consider that a repurchase because I'm buying the same product in a different color. Let me know what you think about that. So I really like the Becca Moonstone highlighter. It's been something I'd put off for a long time because I was like, oh no, I have the Bombs Mary Luminizer, that's all I want. Rachel Whitehurst and I hang out. She's one of my friends here in Seattle, and she would wear Moonstone and I'd be like, oh, that glow, like I just really want it. It's so finely milled. So I caved and bought Moonstone this summer, and then they just came out with Pearl. I've been talking about this for a long time, that if Pearl ever came out in a pressed version, I would buy it. And it did, so I bought it. And I actually really like this quite a bit. It is a little more frosty than Moonstone, so it doesn't look quite as natural. Moonstone on my skin gives me a very natural glow, but it's a little bit dark for my winter skin tone. It works very nice in the summer. So this is great for the winter. It's a little more of that kind of icy, obviously you can see it's basically a pure white highlight. I love this for highlighting the inner corners of the eyes. I love it on the cheekbones. It's just gorgeous, especially if you want quite a bit of a pop. This is something I would definitely recommend for anyone that is a light to porcelain skin tone, because it has basically no other colors to it. It is nearly a pure white when you swatch it. I would not, you can see right there, we got quite a bit of a glow going on, but like this doesn't have a lot of colors. It has a bit of kind of a very, very pale yellow you can see, but not enough that I would recommend this for anyone that's anyone wear deeper from like light medium because it's just gonna pull ashy. But if you are on the fair side, this is just a gorgeous highlight. Lastly is the Tarte BB Primer. I think this is my third or fourth tube. I'm a big fan of this. It comes in only a couple shades. The one thing I don't like is that, yes, this caters to my skin tone. This is very, very fair, so this is going to work for those more porcelain skin tones. However, it doesn't go very dark, so if you are more on the deeper side of the spectrum, then this isn't gonna work for you because they just don't have a darker color, which is a shame. But it's titanium dioxide and zinc oxide as its SPF. However, I don't use SPFs in primers alone because you just don't apply enough to actually get the sun protection. But I do like that it doesn't have a different sunscreen as the BB cream. A lot of BB creams do have sunscreens in them and they're usually chemical, and I don't wear chemical sunblocks. So I like that this one has a physical. It looks great as a primer. I wear it under my makeup a lot. And it also looks great just as a BB cream in the summertime. A lot of times I'm just wearing this with just like really easy makeup. Shows my freckles great. You would want a concealer, obviously, if you have any areas that you do want to conceal, because this isn't going to cover it up, but it just is a nice way to even out your skin tone. If you like the way MAC Face and Body looks, but you're not so into dewy, I'd try this out because this is more of kind of a matte finish, but that same just kind of sheer wash of color. Anyhow, those are all of my recent repurchases. Let me know if you like these kinds of videos in the comments box below, or if you'd like me to go back just to empties. I just hate saving my trash. That's just straight up what it is. I don't like basically I just don't like saving my trash. Like, it just builds up and then it's kind of gross, and so I'd rather do recent repurchases if you guys are cool with that. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I also put out new videos every Tuesday and Friday, so make sure you hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos from me, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. See you later.